Hi, and welcome along to Transfer Daily Extra. There is only a few days to go now until the transfer window shuts. Monday, in fact. That'll be it. No more business until January. I've been giving you the updates every day on Transfer Daily, but I thought, let me speak to the expert, which is Fabrizio Romano. There he is. And find out what he knows and what he can bring us up to date with, because obviously every Arsenal fan at the moment is on tenterhooks, hoping and praying, Fabrizio, that we can get some stuff done. And I know thank you very much. I know you've been really, really busy today. It's crazy. It must be a crazy time for you.
Yes, it's got crazy days, as I told you, but I'm so happy to be with you. So thank you for the invitation. And I hope to give good news to Arsenal fans soon, but it not depends by me, but I hope.
Well, please give me some good news, right? I'm going to ask you, first of all, about Aouar. Seems to be like the number one target, the Lyon midfielder. We've been chasing him, it seems, the whole of the transfer window. Now, first of all, so many different rumors about it. We heard that, first of all, there was a deadline on when he could be signed. It was what the president of Lyon said. If he wasn't signed by Friday, they weren't going to sell him. Then we heard the other day that PSG were interested. We've also heard that Zinedine Zidane apparently called him and was interested. What are you hearing about Aouar?
Yeah, the situation is so complicated, as we always said about Aouar, because, obviously, as you mentioned, many clubs are interested in the player, but for this summer, and we have to say for this last 3 days, the only club is absolutely Arsenal. So we have to say that about Juventus, it's true that they made a call to keep in contact with Lyon some days ago, but they were offering other players. They were not interested in buying Aouar immediately. They were just calling about the Douglas Costa and different players. So Aouar is appreciated by Juventus, but is not a target for last days. They are thinking to other deals. About Real Madrid, they always say they appreciate Aouar as their board and same as for Zinedine Zidane, but they are not working to sign him because this summer Real Madrid won't sign any top player. So that's their decision. They are focusing on next summer. So if Aouar will stay at Lyon, we have to consider as Juventus, as also Real Madrid, as Paris Saint-Germain, because yesterday also Leonardo said we love him as a player. Obviously, we're talking about a top player, but in this moment, it's so difficult to be signed. Also, because Paris Saint-Germain this summer, as Real Madrid, they can spend 50 or 60 million euro to buy the player immediately right now. So the situation is, in my opinion, Arsenal or nothing. Or he's going to stay at Lyon. Arsenal are negotiating, as we know, with Lyon by many days. They are talking. They are trying to find an agreement, but it's not easy to find an agreement with the president Tola. So I don't trust any deadline in the transfer market. I always say that any president can say, okay, we have a deadline for today. If you arrive tomorrow with the same money, with the money he wants, he's going to sell the player. So I don't trust any deadline. The deadline is on Monday, and this will be the real deadline for our deal, as for other deals. What is true that in this moment, the president of Lyon always asked for 60 million euros. So this was money for Aouar was 60 million euros. Now he can also consider to sell the player for 50 million euro. When there is negotiation, you can say, okay, let's go for 60, but we can accept also 50 with some add-ons. So let's negotiate about the player. But he won't accept any bid around 38, 39 million euro. I think also 40 million euro are not enough to sign Aouar. So negotiations are still on also today, but it's really difficult to find an agreement with Lyon. So it's up to Arsenal. We have to follow Aouar by Aouar because the situation is so complicated.
Do you think we'll get also, you say the deadline's Monday, which you're right, but also Lyon, they got a big game tomorrow against Marseille, right? Tomorrow night, I think it's like the evening game. Now, if he doesn't play in that game, to me, that would be quite a strong indicator that something could happen. If he does play in that game, I'd be like, well, why would they risk him in that game? Surely if he plays in that game, the hopes of signing him might be very slim.
Yes, this is true. I agree with you, because always when we are during the window, obviously, if you have a player involved in a match, you can consider he's not going to be sold in some hours. But when you talk about it changes club by club, because Lyon are so particular. Their president is so particular, so he wants his player to play. Also, if they have some problems, also if they have problems with the club, also if they have problems about their contract, as in the case of Aouar, if there is some negotiation. So I won't expect anything changing about the match. If he's going to play, obviously, it would mean that he's not close to leaving the club. But I won't say, okay, tomorrow night he's playing and then on Monday he's not moving. It's not 100% because I'm convinced that if Arsenal will arrive with 50 million euro, 47, 48 with some add-ons, they can sign the player. But it's up to Arsenal because at the moment they are around 38, 39, around 40 million euro, and it's not enough to sign the player. So it's up to the club. If they will arrive with right money, also if the player is going to play tomorrow night against Marseille, I'm convinced that he will join Arsenal because he's ready to leave. He's desperate to leave. He wants to join Arsenal. He wants to change club, but he's also being respectful with Lyon, so we have to wait what happened on next hours.
Let me just and obviously you don't know. Just your instinct on a scale of 1 to 10. What would you say is a chance of signing to Arsenal?
Well, I have to be honest. I don't like so much when I have to say from 1 to 10, just because I would play with the people. It's not just because I don't like predictions, but my work is to try to tell what's happening, not to try to say just a number. If I had to say a number, I would say 6. Okay, I would say 6 because Arsenal are trying and because the player has not another club who are pushing to sign him. So I would say 6, but I won't say 8 or 9 because in this moment they don't have any agreement. So if they arrive with the right money tonight, tomorrow, or Monday, I'm convinced that the player will move. So it's just up to Arsenal because Juventus, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, they love Aouar, but they are not working to sign Aouar right now. So it's a big chance, in my opinion, for Arsenal. I feel it's like, or you sign Aouar right now, or it would be so difficult to sign him on January or next summer because many top clubs would arrive with big money for Aouar. So it's a big chance for Arsenal.
Yeah, that's a great point what you make there. And also the other one, of course, is the Thomas Partey one. That's the other one that we know that Torreira is.
So I'm sorry, just before talking about Thomas and more, we have also to respect the position also of Lyon, obviously, because they always say they want to keep the player if Arsenal don't pay. So their position also on last minutes, just to be updated with our fans, I was checking my phone, and always Lyon are stating also right now that the player is staying. So they are convinced that Arsenal are not going to offer 50 million euro. So we will see until Monday. But at the moment, Lyon position is there is not the right bid from Arsenal. So the player is staying. This is Lyon position, just to be clear. Also with Lyon fans and not just with Arsenal, obviously.
Okay. Partey, Thomas Partey.
Yes.
Maybe if they can't get him, they might turn their attentions to him. Now, is that still possible? Or is it still the same that they've got to meet that release clause?
It's difficult. It's so difficult for Thomas Partey because if you talk with people around Atletico Madrid, important people in the club, they are stating by weeks. It's not just about today or yesterday. They are stating by 2 or 3 weeks that after the difficult period, it was in July when Thomas was seriously considering to leave the club. Now they are seriously convinced that the player is staying. So they won't expect any move from Chelsea or from Arsenal for Thomas Partey. They are convinced that the player is staying. They won't sell any top player. So if Arsenal are arriving with 50 million euro for Thomas Partey, obviously they sign the player because there is a release clause. But I think that if Arsenal has to make a choice, if they had 50 million euro, they would have signed Thomas before or the same Aouar, because Aouar was the first target more than Thomas. So that's the situation. I see so complicated to get Thomas in 2 or 3 days. Also because you have to remember with the release clause, and we talked last time about release clauses with Atletico Madrid, you have to pay immediately. It's not in 2 or in 3 years. When you pay a release clause to Atletico Madrid, you have to put money immediately, as Barcelona did for Griezmann. Was the same. They paid an enormous release bid clause, but with a bid immediately paid. So it's really difficult also because Atletico Madrid won't negotiate. They don't want to start to talk with Arsenal to say, okay, let's pay 10 million euro this year and 40 million euro next year. It's impossible for Atletico Madrid. So I see this deal really, really difficult, but it's not just about Arsenal, also about Chelsea. Many rumors about Chelsea also, Thomas, but it's the same. Atletico Madrid are convinced that the player will stay.
Wow. And there's also, of course, the fact that they're taking our player in Torreira. How comes we're negotiating with them and they're not negotiating with us, and they're taking Lucas Torreira?
Yes, the situation is Lucas Torreira is so particular, because there is the total agreement between Arsenal and Atletico Madrid. The player had his medicals today, so the deal is ready. They have just to sign contracts and to announce the player. What's happening is that Atletico Madrid in these hours and in these minutes are working to sell at least one player, because in La Liga, they have a rule this summer for the top clubs, Atletico Madrid, the same for Barcelona is happening. They can sign players only if they sell another player for the same value. So they need to sell a player. And as Barcelona did for Semedo to Wolverhampton, and then they signed Serginho Dest from Ajax, is the same about Torreira. They are ready for Torreira. He had medicals, so he's ready to sign just his contract and to be announced in some hours on last days. But the deal will be completed just when Atletico Madrid have sold one other player. So Thomas Lemar can move to Bundesliga. Pay attention also to Hector Herrera, who is another midfielder who can move from Atletico Madrid. They are working on these minutes to sell some players. That when they sell one player, Atletico Madrid will sign Lucas Torreira, and it will be a loan with buy option, no obligation to buy for Lucas Torreira.
Okay, Socrates, who was a player that was been linked again at this literally since the start of the window for a move to Napoli. What's happened with that? That's gone quiet as well, hasn't it?
Yes, in what I'm told is that Napoli were the only club really strongly interested in bringing on Socrates immediately. Then we have to see, because on last day everything can happen. But at the moment, Napoli were the only club, and I say were because Napoli were considering him when they were convinced to sell Koulibaly to Manchester City. Then Manchester City changed their plans because they never offered 75 million euro to sign Koulibaly. Then Napoli decided to keep the player, to not sell him for 60 million euro was the bid from Manchester City. And Koulibaly is staying to Napoli. And that's why Napoli are not going for Koulibaly. There was also another centre-back from Napoli ready to leave the club, was Maksimovic with West Ham bid. But also this deal is stalling right now. So there are no good chances to see Maksimovic in West Ham, in my opinion. And that's why Socrates is just waiting, but I think he's not moving to Napoli. Napoli are not looking for another centre-back. They are thinking to their midfielder, to sign Bakayoko from Chelsea, but they are not working for Socrates. So at the moment, it's really quiet, his situation. His agents are working, obviously, to find an agreement with another club. We have to see also in another league, because here in Italy, the situation is so quiet for Socrates, but for sure they will try till the deadline day, because he's not so important for Mikel Arteta, obviously.
William Saliba, which is the strange one where we all hearing the rumours that he could be moving to Rennes.
Yes, Rennes were considering him. Then they signed Rugani from Juventus. So at the moment, they have to decide if signing another centre-back or staying just with Rugani. They signed from Juventus, and today he had his medicals. And a player who was always in Arsenal links, but he was never close to join Arsenal. Yeah. And about Saliba, yes, he wants to consider also a loan, because he's also happy to stay at Arsenal. But if he has the opportunity of playing into another club, he would be happy to be a starter in another club. So also Fulham, also Leeds are understanding the situation for Saliba, are talking with his agent to find a solution. Let's see, because I think he can go on loan on last days, but I think it's even more difficult about Rennes just because they signed Rugani. So they have to decide if signing another centre-back or no.
And Mustafi, that's another one. Mustafi, we got so many centre-backs at the moment. he was linked with Lazio.
Linked with Lazio, but was nothing true. I was told that Lazio were not close to sign him, just some contact with his agent. He is being proposed to Lazio, but Lazio have signed Wesley Hood from Southampton, so they are not looking to another centre-back in this moment. They are saying that their transfer market is closed, so they are okay with Andreas Pereira and with Wesley Hood. So we are just to wait to understand what will happen. But at the moment with Mustafi, there is no bid. And it is the same for Socrates. Arsenal have to find a solution for them on last days, but I think just one between Mustafi and Socrates is leaving the club.
Kolasinac, we heard rumours that he was looking to be moved out to Bayer Leverkusen, but he still played the other night against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, which was a big surprise to everybody.
Yes, because the deal between Bayer Leverkusen and Arsenal is really almost done, just because they have the agreement for 11 million euro to sell Kolasinac to Bayer Leverkusen. The problem is the salary of the player. He's in negotiation with Bayer Leverkusen about his contract, personal terms. There is the possibility, because the deal is still on with Bayer Leverkusen, also talking with Bayer Leverkusen people. They say they are still negotiating with the player and still trying to complete the deal because they strongly want him. But there is no total agreement about personal terms right now. Also, Arsenal are waiting, because it would be important to have 11 million euro from Kolasinac, but at the moment the situation is stalling just because of the player. So it's up to the player in this case.
All right. So, have you heard any other players been linked with a move to Arsenal, or is it just really still those main two in Aouar and Partey?
Well, at the moment, it's just about this too. We have to pay attention also to possible surprises, because if Arsenal will arrive on Monday and they haven't signed one between Thomas or Aouar, and they are complicated situation, really complicated, not so easy to sign one of them. And I always said it was impossible to sign both. Arsenal fans were against me, but I always said it's impossible because on this summer it's normal. As you can see, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, top clubs, they say we can't sign this kind of player. It's really difficult to sign two of these players. So if Arsenal will arrive on Monday without any between Thomas and the same Aouar, I can also consider they can try for some surprising moves. We have good midfielders on the market. I'm thinking, for example, to Marcelo Brozovic for Inter. There is no contact at the moment with Arsenal, but just to mention one midfielder who is on the market and can be an opportunity. We have had many opportunities on last hours of the transfer market, so it's possible Arsenal will consider to move for the kind of player, or they would say, okay, or top target or nothing. So this could be also another option. We have to see on Monday, but also I see Jorginho scoring with Chelsea, so I see so difficult the deal for Jorginho on loan. Chelsea, yes, because Chelsea were considering just a permanent deal, selling Jorginho on a permanent deal, and in this moment it's so difficult to sign him. So I say pay attention on Monday about what's happening, because at the moment Aouar and Thomas are so difficult. More difficult Thomas than Aouar, but also our deal at the moment is stalling.
Okay, well, listen, Fabrizio, thank you very much. I know that you're going to be very, very busy on Monday.
But we keep in contact, don't worry, and we will be together soon again. Also after the window, if you want.
Yeah, there's going to be lots of people, right, following your account by the minute.
I know. I hope to give some Arsenal news for you.
Okay, well, listen, thank you very much. And I know you're very busy today. You've got a lot of work to do.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
No, this isn't a robbery at the end of the video. We are telling you about these brand new masks from Mask SC in football inspired colours. You can get your team on it. The link is in the description. Get on it right now.